What's up, everybody? Trey Biddy with Hog Sports coming to you from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Tiger Stadium, Death Valley, LSU 23, Arkansas 22, finding new ways to lose games. I can't imagine another scenario in which they can figure out a way to lose. This one on a missed field goal. At the end of the game, there are plenty of other opportunities to put their heel on their throat and don't get it done. I think there's a mentality thing with this team, and it's not something that's conscious to them, but something about this team. How are we going to lose this time? What's going to happen? And I think it happened with Sam Pittman losing home games. Like, you put so much thought and pressure on yourself about losing games at home, and you end up just getting your doors blown off over and over again. James Franklin not being able to beat top 10 teams just gets in your head, and it gets in this team's head some kind of way. I think it's just it feels like circumstances, but it's just time and time again. You know, the defense holds them to 23 points. You think, God, that's good. That's fine. 23 points ought to win. But in the moments where you got to have stops, you're 2nd and 16 on their final drive, and you give up a 30-yard run, you know, stuff like that. On the field goal, before the field goal, you had an opportunity. I didn't see it. I'm down here field level. Raylan Sharp's back is to me, so I didn't get to see what was going on exactly. But it felt like there was an opportunity to make that catch, and if you make that catch, you got a great chance to win this game. But you don't make the catch. You get stuffed on 4th and 1. You throw an interception right before half on a big drive. You have opportunity to go up 14-0. You have opportunity to score again. You just go back the other way. It's just like moments. Like, you feel like they outplay them throughout the game so many times. And then there's a moment that they just don't rise up to, and it cost them huge. I mean, they're LSU's sleepwalking in this game, guys. They come out sleepwalking. And there's an opportunity to really put them away, like mess them up mentally, and you don't do it. A blocked punt, that was a huge, opening drive, and they fumble the ball. Opening drive, you fumble the ball, and you bounce back, and you get a blocked punt and score a touchdown. That is the odds of losing a game where you block a punt, it's really low. Not for Arkansas, though. Not for the Hogs. So, again, it's frustrating. I don't know what else there is to say, guys. I'm not even sure why I'm here. As I said at the beginning of the season, I signed up for something. I don't know what it was, but I signed up for something. And I'll be in Austin next week also to watch this 2-8 football team in a game that doesn't really matter except for trying to get a win against damn Texas, and that's it. And I mixed things up. Like, I kind of had a good vibe about this game, and I shouldn't have. But hell, it feels like almost damn statistically they should accidentally win some of these close games. But they play just to the level below whatever opponent there is. It doesn't matter if it's Oklahoma State last year, where a lot of this started. It's like they're outplaying them over and over again, but they just make too many errors, just enough errors to lose an overtime game. They shouldn't have ever been in overtime. Mississippi State, Tennessee, Auburn. And we harp on the defense a lot, but it's offense that makes in clutch. And yes, it would be great if the defense, gave the offense enough of a buffer where it didn't have to come down to making a play at the end of the game. But hell, guys, think about it. The Ole Miss game, fumble the ball away. The Memphis game, fumble the ball away. Opportunities to win. Throwing 3 interceptions, having 4 turnovers in the 4th quarter against Auburn in a game you were leading with 9 minutes left. I mean, it's just Mississippi State, giving up 2 4th downs on that final drive. I don't care about all the penalties, but giving up 2 4th downs on the final drive. And you win the game if you stop them. And here, not making that catch, missing a field goal, throwing an interception right before half, and maybe it was pass interference, I don't know. I was watching it from here. I was like, good Lord, Talon, and everybody's like, it was Omega Blake. It's like, hell, guys, I'm at the game. I'm not watching on TV. I don't know. Well, now that we're in the concourse, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Sutherlands. You can reach out to them, and we're going to talk about coaching search here in a second, so I'm going to take a beat here. You can reach out to them at 1-800-66-BARNS or Sutherlands.com. Barn dominiums, barns, hunting lodges, garages, got everything you need, all those types of buildings. And if you mention that you heard about it on the Walk and Talk, you can get 15% back in merchandise. So say you spend $10,000 on a building, they're going to get you $1,500 back to spend on merchandise at their store. So you just got to tell them you heard it on Trey Biddy's Walk and Talk, and they're going to hook you up. So pretty sweet deal. Our friends at Sutherlands, Razorback roots run deep with those folks. So understand you have a lot of choices when it comes to home and garden, but know that they're watching the game just like you are. They're following this coaching search with bated breath just like you are. 1-800-66-BARNS, Sutherlands.com. Coaching search. So the latest stuff I've heard, first of all, I don't think James Franklin's in the mix, but, and I always thought it was a long shot, you know. People always thought like it was a long shot. But Arkansas absolutely made contact, and they should. And he absolutely was asking people, I know for 100% fact, about the inner workings of Arkansas, the athletic department, asking about personnel, all that kind of stuff. That is true. I don't think he's in the mix now. I think he'd probably end up at Blacksburg or something, you know, but I don't think he's in the mix at Arkansas. Based on what I heard, our latest intel, which is very strong, double checked, you can take this to the bank, at least this is what Hunter is telling people. They're down to about 8 people. They were still interviewing people as of this week, still interviewing coaches. Now they may have their guy, that's very possible. I talked to one person who said he felt like something had shifted within the athletic department. I can't really go into reasons why, but I will say that. And Hunter's telling people he wants a defensive-minded coach. That doesn't mean that's where he's going. That doesn't mean that he's not trying to throw, you know, a little bit of misinformation, which he probably should do that. He probably should keep interviewing coaches, which he is still doing, even if he has his guy, just to throw things off. But that's what they're telling people. And I'll say this, like, everybody wants a splash hire. I do too. I'd love a nice big splash hire. What's up, Mike? I'd love a big splash hire. That would be cool. But what is most important to me is that they get this roughly $40 million infused to the football program over the next 4 years. That they can add $10 million a year to this football budget. That they can get NIL right. That they can hire, you know, from everything from improving the recruiting budget, hiring more analysts, hiring, you know, studs to work in the athletic department who can raise money. You know, that's what's important. And if they do get a defensive-minded coach, getting a stud offensive coordinator, and, you know, guys, I've got tremendous memories of Bobby Petrino, love Bobby Petrino, but there are other people also out there who can call plays. And I just don't feel like it has gone in a direction with how things have been that's going to land him the job. And I wouldn't be opposed to it. I wouldn't. Because I know that he's a fiery competitor who, I mean, I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know about Bobby, but I think a lot of people kind of maybe want to start fresh, and I understand that completely too. I would hate to see Bobby Petrino calling plays for some other SEC team though. So, but that's what's important. It's yeah, a flash hire would be good, but a hire that we all feel really good about in 365 days would be nice also, wouldn't it? What about 730 days, you know? And they're like, a lot of the coaches that people like are dying to get right now, you would have turned your nose up at them 3 years ago. And I'd mentioned, it's like, I haven't heard anybody say this, okay? I'm just saying, I think maybe one of the 8 candidates might be Kane Womack at Alabama, former South Alabama coach, Alabama defensive coordinator. I'm not saying anybody. I haven't heard anybody say that, and everybody's like, "This is a smokescreen." Like, nobody's saying it. I just said it. It's just sounds like he might be one of the 8, you know, based on some of the criteria I hear. And everybody's freaking out. But I don't understand how like a guy like that is different than Dan Lanning. So you rewind the clock 3 years ago, and you're not going to be excited about hiring Dan Lanning, you know. And I'm not saying like Arkansas goes that route. You know, there's obviously John Summerall fits the bill 100%. I think it's important to get somebody who knows this conference, who knows what it takes to win in the SEC, knows the kinds of players here, not somebody that's like learning on the job, somebody who knows the SEC, I think is important. And if it's a defensive-minded coach, getting a great offensive coordinator to go with him, there's a model out there that we see. Nick Saban did it, obviously, you know, with like Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian, for example. You know, Dan Lanning is doing it with Will Stein right now. At Oregon. Kirby's doing it. Well, they're not great on offense, I guess, but you get the picture. Defensive-minded coach, you usually go the complete opposite direction of what the coach was before. And Sam Pittman, an offensive line coach, a little, kind of a good old boy type of vibe, a little slower moving, older guy. So, yeah, you think younger guy, maybe a little more energetic, maybe a defensive-minded guy. So, I don't know who this coach is going to be. I just know what the criteria is, where they are right now with it, and what they need to do really is get this football program. You can't win. Like, you can have moments in football where the ball don't bounce straight up and down. You can have moments like that, but you can't sustain success without injecting money into the program and getting somewhere, like they want with 5 to 7 in the SEC and spending in football. So, last thing about the game, I love this trip, by the way. I've probably been to Death Valley more than any other SEC venue outside of Fayetteville. It's a direct flight, United, got you hooked up. It's a dirty town. It's kind of gritty, The food's really good, but it's kind of dusty. Everybody kind of looks like they came off a dirt road. I don't mean that in a bad way at all, but everybody seems a little dusty in Baton Rouge. Went to Perrane's last night, which is Cajun for Godfather. I'd been there like maybe 10 years ago, maybe not quite that long, but had that catfish Purdue with the etouffee on it. It's good food here. It's a good trip. I kind of changed things around. So this is like, if the walk and talk's basically done, I'm just talking right now. But I had this ritual. I'm a creature of habit. Those of you who know me, obsessive, compulsive, all those things, you know who I am by now. There's no hiding that. And after every game, this is number 19, straight loss, by the way, for me on the road, number 19. After every game, when I get out the airport, put my earbuds in, park in the economy lot all the way down, and I turn on Soul Fight by the Revivalists. If you don't know Soul Fight, it's a good reflective kind of song. You listen to it, you kind of reflect on the game, everything that happened, you reflect on your trip, and then you kind of put it to bed. And that's been my ritual, and it lasts about until I get to my car. That's been my ritual for years. And this time I was like, you know what, I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. I got a good parking spot on Monday, slid right into the pit. Sometimes I look at that as a sign, what kind of week is it gonna be? Am I gonna get a nice, easy parking spot? And I did. If you know, you know. It's difficult to get a good parking spot in the pit. Slid right in. It might be a good week. Maybe there's a good vibe. I don't know why I think that. Hell, they just don't have the killer instinct to win games. I hate it for them because I see the emotion from the kids on the sidelines. I see it in their faces. I see how bad Scott Starzik, how red and upset he is, and teammates consoling him and stuff. It's frustrating because that kind of stuff happens all the time with this team, but I know it's hard on them. But I had a decent feeling. And so I switched it up, listened to Soul Fight on the way, think about what's gonna happen, where things are going. Easy, smooth trip, flying in here, and then get to Perrane's last night, order my beer, sit down, I'm waiting for my party to come join me. I'm there first, and guess what song comes on? Soul Fight by the Revivalists. I'm thinking, holy crap, this is a sign right here. Something's up. Anyway, so it'll be another listening to Soul Fight on my way to my car in the economy lot, thinking about what could have been here. And I also want to think about, with this football coaching search, I don't want to be looking back on it and going, what could have been? They missed out on this guy. How'd they miss this guy? You know? Because everybody that's out there that you want right now, you would have rejected 3 years ago. Think about that. They've had a lot of time and as of this day, guys, this is Hunter Yurichek's coaching search, okay? Like, I hear all that stuff, trust me. I mean, I hear everything. I hear all the rumors, all the crap, everything that goes around, all the truth. I hear it. I hear most of it's crap. That's it. Visit our friends at Sutherlands. Visit our friends at Sutherlands. Take advantage of that friends and family deal. Get 15% back in merchandise. All right, everybody. That's it. That's the walk and talk. Appreciate you joining me. This has been Trey Biddy with Hog Sports. We'll catch you next time.